You want to know, what are the best stocks to buy right now? The market's had a little choppiness. What should I be buying? How can I stack some cash, Eric? I got you covered. Let's go. All right, let's talk about making some money in the stock market.
Let's talk about buttered sausage.
No, Gary, we don't want to talk about buttered sausage. We want to talk about the stock market.
Why is it doing what it's doing? Get it out of my face.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. Now, I've got 3 stocks here. The first one, this company is the world's #1 customer relationship management software platform. So we're talking about best of breed CRM. This is a cloud-based company, software as a service or SaaS, and it provides businesses with the tools to connect with customers. So we're talking sales, customer service, marketing, e-commerce, as well as analytics, all on one platform. Can you guess the company? Salesforce, ticker CRM, which reported earnings last night, and you can actually see a beat on the top and bottom lines. EPS beat by 13 cents, revenue beat by $100 million at $10.24 billion. However, it's only up 9.8% year over year. We'll talk about that more later. The stock got hit pretty hard this morning. In fact, it went below $235 at $234.62. Right now, it's down about 5.6%, trading around $242 a share. Why did the stock sell off? A common theme this earnings season, a beat on the top and bottom lines, but that guidance just wasn't good enough. Revenue 10.24 to 10.29 billion. The consensus 10.28. Of course, the high end will beat the consensus, but the low is 0.24. Consensus is 0.28. That's not going to be good enough for this market. The guidance for the revenue growth is 8 to 9%. This is more of a mature company. Again, I'll talk about those metrics later. We'll also look at a chart for each stock. For FY26 full year guidance, same story. Consensus was 41.24 billion, and you have this range here from 41.1 to 41.3. So if the company does well, it actually could beat consensus guidance, but of course that range has a lower end that is under. Revenue growth 8.5 to 9%, operating margin 21.2%. One thing I want to point out to you guys, now this is revenue by segment, this is subscription and support, this is most important. You also have sales and you have service. For service here, you can see 8.9% year over year change, which is an acceleration from 7.8 and 7% respectively. For sales, you're looking at the same story, 9.5% acceleration. For subscription and support, year over year change, you got 10.6% for this quarter. Now that's the best we've seen since 4 quarters prior. You can see we had 12.3% here in Q1 of 25. And then for the last 4 quarters, you got 9.5, 9.1, 8, 8.3. You're seeing an acceleration here to 10.6, which is a positive. And you're thinking to yourself, that's great, Eric, but tell me more. Why is this stock a buy now? We've talked about AI and how it's going to take time. It's going to take time to ramp up. And I believe, based on this earnings report, that Salesforce is positioned well to accelerate that growth again, an uptrend. Now, we're not talking about a hyper growth stock here. We're talking about 8 to 9%. And remember, this stock does pay a dividend. It's a pretty new dividend, 0.65% dividend yield. Payout ratio is very low, under 16%. So this is an up and coming DGIF stock. We talk about the life cycle of stocks from spec to hyper growth, mature growth, DGIF, DGI, and income. This is a mature growth company that's an up and coming DGIF. When I look at these numbers, they're very solid overall. But what sticks out to me here is this right here. 12,500 plus agent force deals closed since launch. Now that's a good number, but why is this important? Well, because Salesforce has over 150,000 customers worldwide. Now some of these are smaller businesses. It's a big wide range from small to large, but there's a ton of expansion for growth here. The agentic AI market was valued at $6.96 billion in 2025, and it's expected to grow to $42.56 billion by 2030. We're talking about 43.61% CAGR, compound annual growth rate. Some investors even speculate a potential market as large as $7 trillion by 2030. What we do know is there is a ton of room for growth for agentic AI and for Salesforce to tap into its existing customer base. So Salesforce Einstein is a a suite of AI tools that are built into the Salesforce platform. This will help businesses automate tasks, provide data-driven insights, enhance productivity, sales, service, marketing, and more. Now, we've been talking about on this channel here for 5 years. The focus for AI is going to be enterprise AI, and Salesforce definitely fits the bill. Einstein allows customers of Salesforce, these businesses, to build or connect their own AI models to their CRM data. Now, Salesforce itself just axed 4,000 support jobs because of agentic AI. Agentic AI is replacing jobs, and the job market is just getting started here. I think we're going to see a lot more pain. Now, what makes this even more exciting is that Google Gemini, so Alphabet Google Gemini, is partnering with Agentforce. So this partnership is going to allow you to integrate Google's Gemini AI into Salesforce Agentforce platform. This is a 7-year, $2.5 billion deal. And this allows Salesforce core applications, including its CRM and Agentforce AI offerings, to run on Google Cloud with Gemini embedded. This will give enterprises a new choice in advanced AI for customer engagement and is widely seen as a move to challenge Microsoft's dominance in enterprise AI. Now, I came to Discord to talk about valuation with you, but I was pleasantly surprised as I was making this video. Kyle Force just posted about Salesforce, and this is a good thing to bring up. Of course, if you want this kind of information in real time, join our Discord. If I make a YouTube video, it takes time to edit that video, to publish that video, for you to actually see it from the algorithm. This is giving you real-time information. Having that real-time data can make a huge difference on your cost basis, trust me. Now, Kyle's takeaway, and I agree because I listened to the earnings call last night, Salesforce is signaling a serious move into ITSM. What does that mean in English? Well, it's going to try to compete with ServiceNow. And as you know, ServiceNow has been doing quite well in the AI space. This could be a massive revenue driver if they can deliver agent-powered IT services for the mid-market and beyond. He asked the question, do we think this is too ambitious? No, I don't. Why? Because Mark Benioff has been at the helm since 1999 when this company was founded. He's a former Oracle guy. I used to work at Oracle as well. He has connections. When you think of Silicon Valley, he's very rooted. He has the ability to make this happen with his team. And if you didn't know, this stock has been publicly traded since 2004, over 20 years, and it was $3.95. You can see you've almost made 6,000%, actually over 6,000% now if you invested way back then. But of course, you care about buying the stock now and where it's headed next. And I told the gang at 8:57 a.m. this morning that CRM now trades at a 35 gap forward P ratio. The growth, again, of course, it's mature. It's going to be less than 10%. That's okay. It's not a hyper growth stock, and it might not fit every portfolio either. This is in my main portfolio, not in the community portfolio, not in the dividend portfolio. It has great SaaS margins. Recurring revenue is 78% margins. Of course, it has that small dividend we talked about earlier, and the EV/NTM revenue is only a 5.5x. A 5.5x is much less expensive, and I'm not saying the company's better or the growth's better, but Palantir is a 76.5, ServiceNow 13.2x EV/NTM revenue. I told the gang in Discord this morning, again, a reason that you should sign up. Go to patreon.com/firedupwealth and join us. The opportunity is here and lower. At the time of this writing, the stock was at $235, actually a little under $235. But on chart day, several times I said, hey, this stock is not worth $300 a share. I would aim for $225 to $235 or simply avoid. Just my 2 cents. This is notes here from chart day. And here is the chart where you can see CRM. I think it's overvalued. It was $367, not worth $300 IMO. This was a huge air pocket here, and that air pocket got filled. Now, April of 2025, it got to 230. And then recently here in August, it actually broke the lows from April to 226.48. Now, I've been pretty firm on 225 to 235, but I did do one video where I said, hey, if I didn't own this, I might nibble some at 245, knowing that it could go lower, and I would dollar cost average with a preference of 225 to 235, or of course, even lower. This S3 is $215. Could it happen? Sure, it's possible. S2 Fibonacci here is about $227, but you'll see that it bounced right off of this S1 almost perfectly, just below 235 this morning. And now you have a green candle and the stock's 242. So if I'm thinking as a long-term investor, a solid company that pays a dividend, that has lots of upside potential. Now, this is not going to be hyper growth again, but it has upside potential to make me money. 245 or less DCA, the lower, of course, the better. The next stock on the list. Now, believe it or not, you could buy this stock today at this price and you'd have a better cost basis than I do. It's one of 3 stocks out of 60 in my $3.1 million taxable brokerage. That's red. So 57 are very green, and I have 3 that are red. I'm down about 5% on this stock after reported earnings last night. Gitlab down over 7.5% today, trading around $43 a share. So currently this is a $7.1 billion market cap. One thing I do want to point out here, this stock did run into earnings. So if you look at a monthly chart here, it's only down 1.7%. And in fact, it was down below $40 at $38 here in August 11th. So it did rally here from the $38 level all the way up to $49, and now it's sold off, especially after earnings, back to $43. The earnings weren't bad. It's about guidance again. So you can see non-GAAP EPS beat by 8 cents. Revenue, $236 million. That beat by $8.8 million. And that is up 29.2% year over year, which is solid. The headline here, Gitlab stock slides as outlook underwhelms and the CFO exits. So looking at guidance here for Q3, companies expecting 19 to 20 cents on revenue of 238 to 239 million. Consensus here, 19 cents, which is fine, but 241.53 million. So the guidance is lower than the consensus. For full year FY26 guidance, company raises adjusted EPS outlook to 82 to 83 cents from its prior range of 74 to 75 and ahead of the street estimate of 75 cents. So this is a positive here. However, reaffirmed net revenue guidance at 936 million to 942 million. The consensus was 942.9 million. Overall, this is not that bad. So then why is Gitlab selling off? Well, part of the reason here is the sentiment's just not very good. The market doesn't like it. Short interest is 9.17%. If you have shorts and you don't have enough buyers that have conviction to buy the stock, of course, it's going to drive the stock price lower. And of course, even though it has those SaaS margins really strong, almost 89%, A plus in the gross profit margin TTM, it's not a profitable company. So of course, no GAAP PE ratio. And some people look at this and say, hey, this is crazy expensive. We're talking about a 9.45 price to sales TTM, a forward price to sales of 8.22. What the heck's going on? Remember, the best metric you can use for a software as a service SaaS company is going to be that EV NTM revenue. We're sitting right around a 6x for Gitlab, which I believe is attractive. You still have an NTM free cash flow margin of about 17%, and that NTM rule of 40 is over 40% at 46%. It also has 121% dollar-based net retention, which is solid. Again, that revenue growth, 29%, base customers over 10,000, 1,344 customers over $100,000 ARR, that's annual recurring revenue. I do believe that Gitlab is a beneficiary from AI. I've covered it on the channel many times. You can go back and watch some of those previous videos. But overall, you have strong momentum here, 30%. This is the 2-year compound annual growth rate. A growing customer base and growing in those larger accounts. This shows the power of their land and expand model. 2016 customer cohort double clicks. This is from 2016, almost 10 years here to 2025. This is massive growth. You're talking about 103.6x ARR growth. Is this stock for everyone? No. Is this a stock that your grandmother should buy? No. Is this a stock that a value investor should buy? Absolutely not. Do I think that I'm going to make money on this stock over the next 1 to 2 years because I believe it's undervalued? And I actually think that the guidance that we're seeing is probably a bit of sandbagging. The answer to that is yes. And could I be wrong? Sure. But let's look at a chart. I'll tell you what I think and where the stock will be headed over the next 12 months or so. So Gitlab had your classic double top here around $74, dropped all the way to $37.90, back to $54, yo-yo here. So just in April, this was a $37.90 stock. In August, it was $38.81. As I mentioned earlier, it ripped from that $38 level up to $50, and now it's pulling back. The low so far today, $42.17, so it's about $1 higher now. This new S3 Fibonacci is about $38.70. So you got your S3 support 3 Fibonacci, roughly around that $39 level. The S2 around 41.24. So far, buyers have come in around that $42 price level. I still like this stock, $45 or less DCA. Of course, the lower you can get it, the better. Preference under $40. But again, if you buy it right now, you have a better cost basis than I do. Where do I think the stock is headed? This R3 is $53. It's not going to get there overnight, but I do think you'll see this stock over $50, possibly even $75 level for a triple test here in the next 12 to 18 months. The third stock today, I'm going to take you back to Discord. Remember, we use dollar cost averaging, right? So you can see yesterday there were a ton of buys. One stock in particular, this is the most buying I've seen for quite a while with one stock. We were going absolutely crazy on Intuitive Surgical. Now, if you're following Eric's watch list in Discord, I told you 430's next, and it got there. It actually got down daily low, $434.80. This is a smaller portfolio, so the main is 3.1, little under $3.1 million. This is a $260,000-$70,000 portfolio, the community portfolio. So I'm buying one share at a time, right? Now in this, you can see the last share I got of the day was $434.97, but I also bought some at $439.97, and there were several other buys up here. And also in Trade Floor, you can see just a ton of buys for Intuitive Surgical. We were very busy with that stock yesterday, and we're never trying to time it perfectly. We just like it, hey, at a certain price, let's start buying it at say $450, and we're going to buy more shares as it goes a little bit lower. That's something we call the Fired Up Wealth Technical Analysis Lot Allocation Strategy that we teach in our masterclass video series. Now, also still in Discord here, we talked about why was the stock down in the first place. Of course, you already know the story with earnings, but there was a presentation yesterday at a Wells Fargo healthcare conference. And here are some of the reasons why the stock could have been down, but the one in particular that scared some analysts yesterday and some people sold the stock is this right here. And essentially what this is GLP drugs are leading to less surgeries. Exactly what Shane says right here. A couple weeks ago, I broke down Intuitive Surgical in detail. You can go watch that video after this one to get more information about the company and what it's about. But one thing that's very important to understand is that recurring revenue is approximately 84% of total revenue in 2024. So when you're looking at valuation, this is a little bit different than some other companies are. It's not software as a service, but it has that recurring model. And that's from instruments and accessories, service contracts, as well as operating leases. So you will pay a large upfront fee for the machinery, so for these Da Vinci systems, but then you have these other areas that make it recurring. Again, this is robotic surgery. So it does have fairly high margins, 67%. Seeking Alpha is showing the profitability grade in A+. The growth, it is a growth stock heading closer to more of a mature company, but it definitely still is in that growth mode. It's just not hyper growth. And so you will see this forward gap P ratio of 61.65, which might look a little bit expensive, but remember that recurring revenue. It is important. You can see the stock today is actually up 2.69%, back to $453 a share. Short interest is very low, only 1.39%, and that usually is telling. That's telling you that not a lot of people are going to get in front of this train. They're not going to bet against this company. It is a market cap of $158 billion, and trust me, I realize that if you're a value investor, this is another one that might not be your huckleberry. When the stock was $616, we said running hot in chart day, this is not where you want to buy. You don't want to buy air pockets. That air pocket has mostly filled. You can see it's a goofy chart, so it's not all the way down to this trend line, but it's getting darn close. This was a $425 stock in April, which I told the gang yesterday could certainly happen. Didn't quite get there. It held up this Fibonacci S3. This is the previous S3 at $432.70. It did break the existing S3 at $446, but now it is back above it today. I actually like this stock, $460 or less DCA. The lower the better, and I do think there's a chance it could get under $400 if the market turns sideways, rolls over, or if some bad news or headlines come out. So keep that in mind. A stock can always go lower, but I think it's attractive right here, right now. With time, it'll get back to that $550 level. I think it was just way ahead of itself when it was at $616. If you're new here, don't forget to subscribe to this channel so you can get more videos like this. And if this video was helpful, drop me a like, drop me a comment. Thanks for watching. Have a great rest of your day. Take care.